Hi, everybody. I'm Candid Frank Stanisci of Candid Frank Live. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV, channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Now on Candid Frank Live. Joining me as usual is Aaron William Freeland. And of course, today, my darling, it's Valentine's Day. I forgot to send you roses. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I understand completely, Frank. I forgot to get you chocolates too.
All right. We're kidding, right? We've learned to like each other and also disagree and not hate each other. So there's two battles that are worth winning. And for me, well, I just went through another birthday. I really want to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday. I can't believe how many people wished me a happy birthday. Almost 200 people on Facebook. That felt really good. I think at first I said to myself, "Oh man, they really like me." Then I realized, nah, they just feel sorry for me. So basically, they figured out how old I am. So they figured, poor guy. Let's be nice to him for a second. So I appreciate it. All kidding aside, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. And because it's always the day before Valentine's Day, um, having been married and have a girlfriend, the celebration switches real quick from my birthday to our celebration, which means her flowers, my card, good fun. So, what did you do for your lovely wife?
Well, Michelle and I went out to dinner at a nice little restaurant around the corner from us for on the 13th, just because we knew we wouldn't be able to do it today because we had our show. So she's very understanding in that regard. So we had a nice night
Cool.
out last night.
So, how was McDonald's?
It was actually Massimo Capra's.
I've been to that place
Massimo's Capra's is a really nice restaurant. So we
near
had
Lakeshore, right?
yeah, right
Yeah.
on Lakeshore there.
Yeah, it's the back door is the behind the back of the building.
The back door is actually a little further east and on the north hand side. Capra's is on the south by
Yeah.
the Home Hardware. But yeah, no, it's a really nice little place.
It's really nice. It's small. It's not in a basement, but it feels like it's in a basement. I don't
Yeah,
know why I get that feeling.
it's got a comfortable warehouse style ceiling to it. So
Yeah.
it's open and airy, but at the same time feels comfortable. So
Yeah. No,
can't
really
complain.
nice. And the food, I assume, is good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, we had surf and turf. We had fish. We had fish on my girlfriend's mother's birthday was the 12th. Mine was the 13th. So we had fish on the 12th. We had fish and steak, and today on Valentine's Day we had pizza. Nobody made it. We drove to pick it up.
I can't say as I blame you. I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, um, you know, food is something that is something you should enjoy. And somehow we're getting off topic here, but that's okay. This is a good topic. Food is something, they say it is the food of love. It's sustenance. It makes you feel good. There's things called comfort food, which usually they're not good for you in the long run. And then there's the stuff that's good for you that you go, oh, not again. How do you feel about food? I just did my whole story.
Everything in moderation, including moderation. That's
Yeah.
that's the way I feel about it.
Okay. Okay. I'm just wrapping my head around moderation of moderation. Okay. So sometimes you're allowed to have a lot. Is that what that
Sometimes you're
means?
allowed to indulge.
Oh, okay. All right.
You
Good.
know,
That's good. That's good. As long as it's not a whole bag of chips or a whole tub of ice cream,
exactly. You know,
right?
you can have the foods you like as long as you don't over have the foods you like.
And I only mean the whole bag of potato chips that you get from Costco, not the ones you get.
Right. No, those little 46 gram bags, those are gone in
Those
one sitting. But
couple of handfuls, they're done.
the 225 gram bag that you get out of Costco that you use to feed parties, that's risky.
The good old days of a bag of chips and a case of beer. All right, and then and you do the show. and see where that goes. All right. All seriousness, the Canadian Football League, a little more activity. Again, the Argos dip into dip into they dip into the Hamilton Tiger Cats, one of their major appointment, teams that their opponents that they're really deeply entrenched against every time. So Brandon Banks comes to Toronto. I know I'll spit this out eventually. Brandon Banks comes to Toronto, which was a big surprise.
I like I say, a lot of people had him as Soli, so there's that to
I
consider
did.
as well. Yeah, but yeah, he's joining Andrews now, so that's an interesting 1-2 punch. So
Yeah,
that's
two most valuable
definitely
players.
mhm,
That's
legitimate
a
scoring threats now.
yeah. Both last year had injury concerns, so we'll see where that ends up. So, what else is going on in the Canadian Football League? I'm going to let you take the lead.
Well, as you know, Trevor Harris was recently signed by the Alouettes, but on top of that, they also signed a Canadian defensive lineman. Don't know if you remember this guy, but he's 6'1", 275 pounds. As Vincent Desjardins got a 1-year deal on Friday. This unfortunately broke after we'd done our show, so we missed being able to report on that. But uh, he's going to be playing for them starting next year. He used to play college ball at Laval, so that'll be fun to see him there. Add on to that, the Ottawa Redblacks re-signed Canadian defensive back Pruno, so he'll be joining them again this year. So that's a good thing for him. He's in his 8th season now. All of them have been with Ottawa. He registered 417 tackles, 4 sacks, and 10 interceptions in 104 career regular season CFL games so far. He's turned 32, and he only played 11 games last year, but there's still a lot of upside to him. So I'm very happy for them for that. Now, also, the Ticats signed another 2 guys. This is pretty neat. I don't know if they're going to replace, if they're going to be able to replace any of the players that they've lost, but they've signed American defenseman Micah Johnson and J.R. Tavai. Now, they signed them on Wednesday. I don't remember if we actually covered this on the Friday show, Frank, but thought it worth mentioning. Just as a heads up, Micah Johnson actually spent time in the NFL with the New York Giants, the Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Green Bay Packers. So he's doing a bit of a city by city tour, and he's now back in the CFL.
Yeah, and should mention also Pruno won the Grey Cup with the Ottawa Redblacks. Kaylee Humphreys turned her back on Canada, said she was assaulted by a coach, and because she felt the Canadian team didn't do anything about it, she left Canada to join the United States, and she won a gold medal.
Yes. Now, there were allegations of mental abuse and verbal abuse from a coach. She also sued Bobsled Canada for $45 million. As well, during her time here, was seeking additional concessions and funding from them over and above what other bobsledders received. They granted her release after an investigation found that there were no foundation to the allegations that she had made. Congratulations to her on winning the gold medal. Glad for that. It's unfortunate that she parted with Bobsleigh Canada under acrimonious circumstances, but she and another American finished 1-2, and the Canadian LeBruin finished 3rd in monobob. So this is the first time they've had solo women's monobob, and it's actually only women that can do the solo. So congratulations to Kaylee Humphreys on that. Sorry her departure wasn't under better circumstances.
Yeah, no, I find it odd that in these times, if there was any kind of, I just can't believe that, Bobsled Canada would have ignored the whole thing if there was something there. So it's a sad commentary, right? That someone has that's out there. So yeah, well, hopefully everything will work out for. Let's go to the National Hockey. Let's go to the Canadian teams. We'll start with the Maple Leafs, who've lost 2 in a row. The last time you were talking about them losing a game, it wasn't such a big deal because they've had a real good run, but now they've lost 2 in a row, and they're playing a team that is not that good, but neither was Vancouver. This road trip's not looking very good. They really need to win this game. Their goaltender, Jack Campbell, Um, uh, Soup is well. Let's just say that I guess the soup's getting a little cold.
Yeah, no, that is true. The unfortunate thing is that in this particular game, they were slow, and it was a slow start. So this is one of those inconsistencies that they seem to run into. They had Mrazek in goal for this one, so he got off to
Didn't
a bit
help.
of a slow start, and in the first 6 minutes, they were already down. So they did manage to claw their way back into it, and they were absolutely dominant for the last 40 odd minutes, 50 odd minutes. But it was the first 5 to 10 that killed them, and it was just something they couldn't get over. So this is a consistent issue that comes up on a regular basis that really needs to be addressed.
This
Hopefully, Keith will
goes
be able to figure it out.
this goes back with the new group. This has been a constant problem for the new group. When they dominate on the shot clock, they can't seem to turn that. A lot of times, it's like when they go real cold. Like 53 shots against Calgary. Let's keep that in mind. 53 shots. How often does a team get 53 shots? And they're not home team shots. They're on the road. So,
Yeah.
they're full value for the 53 shots. So, that is something that, a team like Toronto that is built on the reputation and the ability to score, that when scoring gets difficult for them, a team that doesn't really have a long running relationship with good defensive hockey, how good can defensive hockey help if you're getting 53 shots, getting 2 goals, and the other team gets 3?
And again, the other thing that this leads to is a question about finishing, because
Absolutely.
with that many, and admittedly, with that many shots, they've had this issue before where, it's
Absolutely.
great that they absolutely outshot the other team, but the shots were not good, to put it mildly. I'm glad that they peppered Demko. I'm glad that they got as many shots towards the net as they did, but not as many of them could have been as high quality chances as they should have been.
Well, that's why then you end up with the calculation, right? The calculus where you're asking yourself, and if you pretend you're an expert or you're trying to look like an expert, you ask yourself the simple question: was the goalie that good, or were they that bad offensively, right? And it's not easy to determine, right? Because great goaltending is a part of being lucky. It's like when they say a goaltender says the goalpost is a part of my equipment, right? If you can't put it where the net is, it's not going to go in. And if you don't put it where I'm not, it's not going to go in either. But what is clear is that when you get 53 shots and you're taking shots and you see an open net and you hit the post, or you have a shot for an open net and you hit the goalie and the goalie's on the other side, it starts to look like just maybe your goal percentage needs to be improved, your shot percentage. So yeah, a negative thinker. Now we've done the negative thing, Aaron. But the fact is, they're outplaying the opposition. It's just not showing up on the scoreboard.
No, exactly. They're leading in all the metrics they need to, except the most important one, which is on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. So the Montreal Canadiens, they traded a player. Tyler Toffoli has moved on to Calgary.
Yeah.
Calgary looks like they're loading up.
No, this was a rather interesting trade. I didn't see this coming until a little bit later in the day. I am interested to see where this goes, because Toffoli adds legitimate scoring punch. Now, the good thing is on the other side of the coin here, they managed to get a first round pick and a prospect in exchange for Toffoli.
A good prospect.
Yes, so that's the important part, especially considering the fact that they're trying to retool at this point. So now the Flames are also actually rumored to be in on defenseman Ben Sherratt. So that's another piece that we'll have to keep an eye on as we go forward here.
Absolutely. Then you look at the Senators. The Senators are playing, they're one of two. They lost to the Bruins. They beat the Capitals.
Now, I've said this before, and I'll say this again. These Senators, while they're not doing that well in the standings, are a lot of fun to watch. for the
Did you
most
watch
part.
that one too? Did you
I
watch
watched.
that one?
Yep. Spent a lot of time going back and forth between the Sens game at noon and the Olympic coverage because they played early games this weekend, so
That's
it was
right.
easier to
Well, they
watch them.
usually do. They usually
Yeah,
do. Aaron,
yeah, they don't often get the prime time 7 o'clock spot.
because that's
So
Montreal and Toronto in the East. They
yeah,
dominate the 7 o'clock.
but
Yeah,
like I said, they're heck of fun. They're a heck of a lot of fun to watch, and it's been heartening to see, and it leads me to believe that there's hope for them yet.
the Jets, they really haven't looked that good lately, but now they've got a couple of wheels under them. They're getting somewhere. Wheeler's actually starting to play like most people expect him to. He's improved a lot in the last short time.
Yeah, he actually had 5 points the other night. He scored 2 goals and assisted on 3 others to lead them to a 5-2 win over the Predators. The Predators seem to be the team that's now becoming good for what ails you. Um, I've noticed a lot of teams seem to be jumping on him, and I'm
The
not sure
punching bag.
exactly what it is that's going on in Nashville. But yeah, they are becoming a bit of a punching bag for the rest of the league
That's
here.
too bad.
Yeah,
That's too
well,
bad. A great
maybe they'll be able
organization.
to put up a banner about it, Frank.
Maybe you never know. So we talked about the Flames beating the Leafs, but they also beat the Islanders. They're on a really good roll, and they look to be right now if we can use the game against Toronto as part of the calculus, they seem to be the best team in Canada right now.
Yeah,
And they
they
make this
are.
informant with Toffoli, makes them that much better.
Now the Flames are on a bit of a heater right now, pardon the pun. But and
Yeah,
again, this seems to be the case with a lot of teams coached by their coach. They're now playing playoff hockey, leading down the
he
stretch
won
here.
a
So
he won a cup, and he has a couple of them on his team.
you think?
Oh, and they play old style smash mouth hockey.
Yep.
So it's an interesting group, and Calgary fans should be very happy. About as happy as the Edmonton Oilers fans should be unhappy. Gosh, they just can't. They beat the Islanders, but they've got a lot. It's going to be a tough road for them to make the playoffs. Aaron's what I'm trying to stumble out of saying.
Yeah, I mean they're 14th in goals for, 23rd in goals against. They're really not as high in the standing, sorry, as a team with the players that they've got should be. Currently they're sitting at 5th in the Pacific, just ahead of Vancouver, San Jose, and Seattle. Yikes, with 51 points. And McDavid was actually held goalless last game. He had a couple of assists, so he wasn't blanked. But at the same time, the output doesn't seem to be there. He only had 3 shots on goal. The lesser lights, Hyman and Ceci, were the ones that were scoring. So there's a bit of a
CC,
surprise
can
for
you
you.
believe that?
Surprised
CC's
he hit the
played
net.
well for them the last couple of weeks.
He's been doing well for them. I'm really happy about that. Smith has turned it up as well. So their goaltending has been improving somehow, and I'm not sure how.
Yeah, and the best thing as far as Calgary's concerned with them bringing Toffoli, Edmonton's depending on catching. Calgary's one of the teams that Edmonton has to catch.
Yep.
They're one of the teams in the way of them making the playoffs right now, anyway. And I'm sure that'll be case going down the road. The Canucks made a lot of moves. They look really good in the front office. They're new age version of the makeup of their office, fantastic. And then Demko, again, we had this little debate about the Leafs and Vancouver. I guess their goaltending has been very good. The Leaf goaltending, on the other hand, has been the opposite, and that's something. And by opposite, I don't mean terrible, just inconsistent.
Yeah, and it's a tough thing to gauge, though. I mean, Demko's now the 5th goaltender in Canucks franchise history to record at least 50 saves in a game. The last goalie to do it before him was Roberto Luongo. So that was back in March of 2010. But I'm glad to see that they're finally getting a little more of the goaltending that they need. So good for them on that one.
Hey, let's go to tennis, and let's go to Canada, and let's go to a winner.
Definitely. I think it's been a while coming, but Felix Auger-Aliassime finally beat Tsitsipas to win his first title at the Rotterdam Open. He actually beat him 6-4, 6-2 in the final. So, I mean, he's lost his past 8 finals going back the past 3 years here. So I'm glad to see him finally get into the win column on that.
Yeah, not a Grand Slam victory, but some great Canadians, even one that won the U.S. Open,
Mhm.
won one of these championships before they won the U.S. Open. So it's a confidence builder for him. We're really happy for him. Tennis Canada's happy. Tennis fans who love tennis, and we have so many great players. It's nice to have one come up with a victory like that. So congratulations to him. And best of luck down the road. This is going to be a big confidence builder for him, and I think that's really important. Uh, Now, something else that happened this weekend, I think a football game happened, if I'm not mistaken.
I heard rumor of that. I was out to dinner when it happened, so I can't really tell you exactly what went on there. But
I
I
can tell
heard.
you,
Oh, go for it.
it was in a league called the NFL.
Okay.
I've heard that the initials stand for No Fun League. Um, I've also heard that it's kind of a boring league to watch football. It's sort of a watered down version of the Canadian Football League. You know, they have fake fans in the stands and all this excitement that they have. It's all like not real. It's just fake and stuff. So,
Now,
it
don't they
looks
sort
good.
of?
It
Don't they sort
looks
of?
good.
I was going to say, don't they sort of stage a musical concert in the middle of some of their games too? I was wondering
Well,
about
that's
that.
how boring the game is, right? They got to bring some entertainment in during the game so that, people don't fall asleep in the stands.
That's
Okay, all kidding
unfortunate.
all kidding aside, it was a boring football game. I gotta tell you, it was a typical NFL Super Bowl, one we're usually accustomed to. Why was it, in my opinion, boring? Holy mackerel! The game ended like it was a, uh, you know, it was the game
Yeah,
the game ended, and thank goodness there was a lot of time left for when LA had the ball, because they were stumbling and bumbling and penalties and dropped balls and missed defensive opportunities. And then finally Cup, this kid, a lot of people thought that he should be, that he should be he should be um, the MVP this year, Cooper Cup. He didn't get it, but man, did he show in this championship game. He was the class of the game, and he was awesome. It was a game that either team, Aaron, could have won. It was, like I said, after what we saw in all the other playoff series, the action that happened in seconds that we watched with Kansas City and Buffalo it almost seemed like hours for the same thing to happen. There were it was not it didn't end well. The musical interlude at halftime, I found it entertaining. I was okay with it. I liked it. It was entertaining. It was good, and it sounded great. It looked great, and it had a lot of great artists in it. Right? It was rap and and of course there were some great acts there that I like. So that was good. The game, as I said, left a little bit to be desired. Donald was what he was supposed to be. He ended up making the big play. This is a guy who's on the edge of retirement. Some suggest because he won this championship, the Super Bowl, he probably will retire now. Burrow, the quarterback for Cincinnati, the Bengals. It seems the Cats can't win any championship, Grey Cup or Super Bowl, and I was rooting for them. So Cat fans, don't get pissed at me. I was rooting for the Bengals, but not because they were Cats, but because I thought it'd be nice to have this kid win. But he didn't. Stafford did it. The veteran quarterback spent, I think, over a dozen years in Detroit. Played 3 playoff games, lost all of them. This year, he's already won 3, and a fourth being the Super Bowl. So this guy in 1 year, reinvented himself literally. One of the youngest coaches in the NFL wins the championship in one of the most beautiful stadiums that I've ever seen on television. I haven't been there. Have you had occasion to see that stadium?
I've only seen the pictures that they've shown of the interior and
Have
the
you
flyby.
seen
It's a magnificent looking one, though. It really is.
the ring of monitor of stadium
Oh, the
TV
jumbotron.
screen?
Yeah, I saw
Well,
that.
it
That
is
looks
literally
absolutely
a
unbelievable.
jumbo. It is a jumbotron. It's like a racetrack of screens, and wherever you are, you're looking at 3, 4, 5 screens.
Final thoughts before we go out, Frank. I just wanted to remind everybody and let everybody know, as of the 17th, capacity will be increasing for all sporting venues and concert venues to 50%. We're getting rid of vaccine passports the 1st of March. Mask mandates are still in place, but we should see everything slowly start to move forward then. So that's your bit of good news for those of you who are tired. And this was not brought to you by the convoy. This has been planned for weeks.
This is all part of the plan. It all depends on how the hospitals are doing, folks. That's
Yep.
what it comes down to, not who's protesting. All right, Aaron, great. I'm glad you squeezed that in.
Thanks, Frank.
Okay, for Aaron William Freeland, I'm Candid Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching Candid Frank Live. Aaron Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Candid Frank Live and other news and entertainment, sports programming we offer, please check out spanglishworld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ciao for now.